Somehow I pulled this together live from New York City. Let me just, Google has been an absolute nightmare, so I'm just going to share this link out and jump back on here, and hopefully the link will go out and we're good to go. So bear with me a second. That one. It's not that one. This is recording, so I'm going to look a little bit odd at the moment. Post that one, and let me get back into that, and post this one to somewhere. Okay, that one. Where are you? Where are you? Come on, come on. Okay, live from New York City. So I'm doing this anyway because it will record. And there's a whole bunch of people that were lined up to be on a link, and that link crashed out. So I don't know, I've been having this issue all week with Google Hangouts. However, these things are sent to trials. So we're launching anyway. We're just launching it. Let me just send one thing out. Again, I know someone was watching. Actually, where are we? Okay. Maybe this. Sounds like someone else is on here. Who we got? Who have we got? Someone's on there. Can't see what it is. So, is that Brian?
It's Brian there, Tony. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Once again, Google is a comedy of errors today. I've had links going out all over the place, and when I went to open the link up, it wouldn't. So, but there's something going wrong with Google Hangouts. I can do live ones when I hit now, but I can't do them in the future. So it's a bit of a hodgepodge. However, these things are sent to trials, buddy. These things are sent to trials. So what I'm talking about, this is predominantly for Manchester, England, and I know that actually there's people watching already, which is good. And people want to know what's going on. So what I want to start with here is the link I put up originally was, we'll do this in pounds. So in pounds, £80,000 to £160,000 or £180,000 first year, which is an extraordinary amount of money over there. That's the equivalent of about 120 to about two and change over here, Brian. So how can we do that? It does seem a huge amount of money. Well, it is. However, it's being positioned in a business and taking advantage of that business and the economy and the timing of the launch and everything else. So we'll get on to business shortly. I'm not going to go into it in a big thing. What I'm looking for here is 5 to 7 guys to roll out a business out of Manchester, England. Why Manchester? We've got a couple of guys just starting there already, so there's backup there already. And you know, you've got me who grew up there, so I kind of know it, and I've got hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of connections in Manchester. So it's easier for me to help those people start a business in Manchester. Even though I'm sat here in sunny New York right now. Yeah, sunny. It's always sunny. Even though I'm sat here, because with technology, when it works, because of technology, I can basically help anyone anywhere in the world. Now, we run in 32 countries. However, our target market is North America. So I'll get onto that in a second. But more importantly, what we're looking for to roll out, because everyone will say, yeah, I want to earn X amount of dollars. I want to earn $100,000 a year or pounds a year. I want to do this. I want to do that. Mike, who is probably on the other link, was 19 years old, started with me in an energy business, which is commonplace now in the UK. You just go online and choose your energy supplier. When we started it, that wasn't available. When I went out there and knocked on doors, it wasn't even legal. It wasn't even open yet. I went out and did the test market, and we actually pre-registered clients for when the market was about to open. The day it was open, we had something like 100,000 clients that saved money straight away on that day. They didn't have to go shopping around. We did it for them. So the story there is I went over on a test market with a wonderful friend of mine from Canada called Tammy. We went over with literally photocopied paperwork as a test market. We went over for a week. And back then, you used to actually have to pay to change suppliers. And that's the only way we could finance the business, with the cash flow. And what we came up with was a 10-year plan to save people, at the time I think it was 20 to 30% of the natural gas and their electricity for £3 a year, so $5 a year. And, we did this, and everybody said it couldn't be done, including companies as big as British Gas, who are in the billions and billions. All these huge corporations we spoke with about it all told us it couldn't be done. So we've already done this in Canada. Oh, it's all different. No, it's not. People are people are people. So we went out there, photocopy pieces of paper, get the ball rolling. I think we had 5 days in Manchester. Why Manchester? That's just the only place I knew. Well, not the only place I knew, it's the place I knew best. So myself and Tammy went there. We did a test market. We flew back to Canada, and the test market worked. I can't remember exactly how many clients we got, but probably about 50. Probably about 50. They paid £3, well, equivalent of $5, but it was a 10-year program, so they actually paid us £30 up front. What we did is we took checks off them, but we never actually cashed the checks. So really, they didn't pay anything. It was a test market. But we had to see in reality if it could be done. And everyone that said it couldn't be done, we just went out there and did it. On the premise of that, we invested, whatever it was, maybe 50,000 in vehicles, in office rents, in living expenses for guys like me, hotel bill, hotel expenses. So I went there literally with zero. I'd walked away from the business in Canada, with the other business, which was earning me money, but I wasn't touching that. I basically started a brand new business in Manchester, England, from zero. What did we do? I had a couple of people over from Canada, so we had a team, which is what we've got now in Manchester. We've got a team. I always get itchy noses whenever I get on these things. We had a team of 2 or 3 people. And of that team, they'd actually done the job in Canada. It was only really me that understood the difference in the language, in the market very slightly. And, the amount of negative people said, yeah, it won't work here, won't work here, won't work here. Tony Robbins was told the same thing. Won't work here, won't work here. He's doing, he's everywhere all over there. So we just ignored those people and did it anyway. When the market opened and we had probably around 100,000 clients, the people that told us it couldn't be done were lining up to buy the clients off us. So that, in effect, is what happened. But the interesting story, I'm going to tell you a story about Mike. So Mike, who is probably watching this, if he's on another link, Mike was 19 years old. And the business essentially was knocking on doors back then. This, with our launch now, is nothing to do with that. But this was back then. I'm going back to about, I want to say, 96. So in 96, Mike was 19 years old. Just a quiet kid. Came in, did the training, went out there. Someone showed him how to do it in reality with real people. And then he got a bit better at it. And within a month, I think it was, he was running a team of people and he was training people. It didn't matter that he was 19. Yeah, that's nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter to me if someone's 18 or 80. If they've got it, they've got it. I don't care. Male, female, black, white, I don't care. If it's someone that's got the ambition and the willingness to be coached, the willingness to say, hey, I don't know everything. Show me how it's done. When it's that sort of person, then I can work with them. So what actually happened is Mike came on board, started working with us, started running a team, basically was driving a minibus, a van around, like a 15-seater thing, full of people, trained them all up. They were out there knocking on doors and they're collecting £30 per customer, 10 years, 10-year program. Mike was telling me there's days he had 50,000 cash in his van, which is kind of insane in Manchester to be driving a battered old van with 50,000 cash in it. However, I just remember, there hundreds of thousands of pounds coming into an unlocked office every day. It was insanity, and every morning I'd go, I'd give it someone, go and stick that in the bank. And then I moved down to London to open the same thing, but roll it out in London. So I was based there, did exactly the same thing. I took I think 2 people with me from Manchester. They started training people, and boom, same thing again. What I since found out is Mike is now in his 30s, and he's built a few businesses of his own. And what I've since found out, because now Mike reached out to me must be about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and said he's had to wind his business up. It was something to do with recycling. He had to wind it up, and he's looking for a new opportunity, and he's been watching me on Facebook, and he wants to know what's going on, and all I did was send Mike a video link to what we're doing. Now, the fact that Mike is in Manchester makes no difference. I sent him a video link. He said, okay, yeah, I'm in. And that was it. And then a few weeks ago, we're on one of these hangouts with Mike, and I'm chatting with him. I'm saying, Mike, you look so much more relaxed. I don't know what's going on with your life. And he told me, when he had a business, he was working 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, never seen his kids. Now he works with us as part of the team. All the pictures I see all over Facebook are him and his kids. He's having a great time. He literally looks like he's gone back 10 years in age. The lines have gone, the stress has gone, and this happens with everyone that works with us. So from that, we go a bit further, and I was chatting with Mike again on another hangout. And when I do these things, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. When it's literally open mic night when I do these things, anyone that's on a panel can say anything they want. And what actually happened is I'm chatting with him on here, and I said, how long did it, the old business, how long did it take for you to get into management, to leadership? And he said about 4 or 5 weeks, which kind of makes sense. Knowing my previous businesses, I've had people do it in a week. Okay, someone that's coachable and follows the instruction and makes it work and goes to work, I have no issue moving people up in a week. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that takes quite a bit longer to figure stuff out. And I was talking with Mike, and I said, listen, Mike, I'm curious, what was your best ever week? And he blew me away with this. Absolutely blew me away. 19-year-old kid. A 19-year-old kid. What was your best week, Mike? Oh, my best week, Tony, was £12,500. Say that again, Mike. Tony, my best week was £12,500, but I wasn't top in the office. And I went, holy, I didn't know we were paying out that much. And it was all commission-based, and it didn't matter. It obviously earned it. And it just blew me away. 19 years old, £12,500 a week. And I said, how long did it take you to build up to that, Mike? He said, oh, months, a few months. Wow. So it's no surprise he wants to jump back in business with me. But what happened there, what happens with a lot of people is we have these blocks, these mental blocks, where if someone's never earned more, and I'm talking in pounds because this is directed at the UK market, if someone's never earned more than £50,000, anyone in the States watching this, because there's a whole bunch watching it, just multiply it by 1.5. £50,000, about $75,000. So anyone, that's not earned more than that, have a mental block. I had one when I first went to Canada. I had a mental block of $1,000 a week. I couldn't see anybody in the world earning more than $1,000 a week, which was about £600. Why? Because I'd probably never earned more than $300 at that time myself. So we had a mental block. Then all of a sudden, by accident, I started making some more money. I got promoted and this, that, and the other. But then what happened is, while I was making money off my own, and back then it was I was knocking on doors selling water filters. While I was making money off my own sales, knocking on doors, I was making an override, a management fee on the team. But as my management fee went up every week, my sales personally went down. And I gave myself all kinds of excuses why I couldn't get clients because I was so busy running this team. In reality, it was 8 guys that basically ran itself. But I built this sabotage in my head of $1,000 a week. And then, I got promoted by accident. There was an office in Montreal. It wasn't doing great. The guy that owned the company said, Tony, you're European, you speak French. That was about my French. Okay, you run in Montreal. Ah, merci. That was it. That was me in French. Okay, I wasn't the best student in school. And from there, I just automatically, my income doubled. So all of a sudden, I was earning a couple of thousand a week. But when that happened, I really went sabotage. I couldn't spend it fast enough. I was like a professional sports person that's never had anything, and all of a sudden has got a big contract, and they go out and buy all kinds of BS. And that's what happened. And I basically messed it up totally, came back to the UK, back to Manchester, started again. Started with a company that was selling graphic ads in the post office, something like that. Broke the company record first day, didn't want to work with the manager. You've got to do it this way. Well, listen, I'm breaking records here, let me do it. Okay. No, but you've got to do this. Let me work my own way. It's working. Okay. I thought the manager was an idiot. You know, and in reality, if you've got a guy that's breaking records and doing nothing wrong, okay, leave that guy doing his thing. You don't need him to be coming in and checking in every day. If there's a guy that's self-sufficient, self-supporting, and is making you money, let him do it. Okay, don't block him. So I complained to the owner of the company that my manager was an idiot, and within a day I had to find a new job. So I think I called the owner an idiot as well. So I did that. But I also took a huge amount of humility. I had to move back in my late father's spare bedroom. I had to borrow a couple of hundred off him to get up and running. And, you know, from going from what I thought was all the money in the world in my early 20s, in reality was, you know, maybe 100,000 a year, I got terribly itchy nose. I don't know what it is. It must be dust or the air conditioning unit here. It blows straight at me. So I went from that to having to start all over again. But I remember I had well, it used to be a friend of mine, but he had a business. And I got paid by check. I didn't even have a bank account there when I went back. I got paid by check, my first week's check in Manchester. And this was a guy I looked at as being a business guy. My first week's check in Manchester was £2,800 for ad space. And I asked him, can you cash my paycheck? And he said, sure. And I gave it to him. And he looked at his wife, and she looked at him. And they're looking at each other like, and now thinking back, I'm realizing these guys with this business weren't earning that between them. Cash the check, and you know, and it wasn't for me anyway. I didn't like the company, so I did a few things. And long story short, I bounced around a few jobs in Manchester, but never really had that right place, right time thing. Never really had what I call a category creator. Never really was in a place where I was ahead of the curve. So I've done lots of videos about category creators, being ahead of the curve, numerous things. And, you know, it's been in the right place at the right time. And a couple of years later, I've been back about 2 years. I'd finally got myself sorted, got an apartment, a flat, whatever you call it there, some second-hand Nissan, I can't remember, you know, TV, video, you know, all the toys and some clothes, and I thought I was doing okay. And in reality, by UK standards, I probably was doing okay. However, I made a call to my old boss from the water filter days, and he said, Tom, you got to get over here, man. You got to get over here. He was in Toronto, Canada. You got to get over here. Something's going to blow up here. Something's going to go boom. We're in the deregulated, at the time it was the deregulated long distance market, so cheap rate phone calls, which again now is commonplace. We can choose our phone company. It doesn't matter if Brian in North Carolina, me up here in New York, you guys over there in the UK, we can choose our phone company now. When I got into that business, it was just starting. So what we did is the same thing. We just rolled it out. Okay, Tim convinced me to come over. He told me, and this kind of blew me away on the phone. He said, Tom, you got to get in the business. You got to get in the business. You got to get over here. And Tim's one of these very, very convincing guys. And it's just sheer enthusiasm. It's not pushing us. It's just his sheer enthusiasm that comes across. Well, you literally can't say no to the guy. And he said, Tom, you don't understand. You don't understand. I need you over here. We're rolling this out. We need guys that can run offices. I said, Tim, you remember I screwed it all up last time? He said, yeah. Did you learn anything from that? I went, yeah. I learned not to be a screw-up. I went, okay. So, you know, he's talking away to me. Then all of a sudden he goes, so this is the deal. 2,000 clients a week. I'm going to team you up with your old buddy, which is a guy I trained, Greenie, Mark Greenwood, who's probably watching this right now, so I'm giving him the honourable mention. Okay. I'm going to team you up with Greenie. 2,000 a week. You'll get $10,000 a week each. So in UK money, I just got a message from Vin Diesel. Go figure. This is funny. How do I? What just happened then? I've just got a text from Vin Diesel. see that? That's interesting. Anyway, strange things happen. So I don't know if that happens in Manchester. It certainly happens in New York. So Tim basically tells me 2,000 clients a week. You and Grinny get $10,000 a week each, so £6,000 probably. And it blew me away, and I thought it was BS. And you know, I couldn't get my head around it. So what happened is Tim is, you know, super enthusiastic, super convincing. I said, Tom, listen, how quick can you get over here? I said, I don't know, a couple of weeks. So, you know, I was kind of like, this is maybe a bit BS. He said, no, I need you over here tomorrow. I said, Tim, I can't get over there tomorrow. You know, I've got a house, I've got an apartment. Well, if you had to dump everything, how quick could you move? I said, well, why don't I dump everything? He said, if you had to dump everything at 10 cents on the dollar, 10 pence on the pound, how quick could you move? I said, well, I wouldn't do that. He said, no, just answer the question, how quick? I said, in reality, probably 48 hours. He said, okay, I'll book you a ticket. I went, whoa, I'm not going to dump everything at 10%. He said, no, give me your bank details. Sure. So within half an hour, I think it was about 5,000 showed up in my bank. And I called him back and said, you're serious with this, aren't you? He said, yeah, Tom, I need you here. Dump your crap. Get out of here. I'm booking you a ticket right now. Okay. And, you know, made a few phone calls and said, right, I'm out of here. When will you be back? I don't know. And long story short, got to Canada, didn't know what I was doing, showed up in the first office with a suit on. They basically told me to go away, get some shorts and hiking boots and a t-shirt. We don't work in suits anymore. I went, okay. But when Tim picked me up from the airport, you know, I can't, anyone throws 5,000 in your bank, you know they're serious. So Tim picked me up from the airport in a brand new top-of-the-range 7 Series BMW. When I left him 3 years earlier, he had a nice car. It was a Cadillac, but it wasn't a top-of-the-range BMW. Then when I left him, he had a townhouse. It was a nice townhouse, beautiful. When I came back and went to his house, he had this 5,000 square foot mansion with a 4-car garage and original artworks on the wall. I'm just going, oh, this guy's doing it. I've missed out on something here for the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know what he's done, but just boom, got it. And then he opened the garage door, and he had a new Porsche 928, black one. And something resonated with me in that car, and thought, you know what? That's what I'm going to be driving. So the weekend went by, you know, I got reacquainted, stayed at a friend's place for a couple of days, and actually got trapped outside by her dog for 3 hours. I got trapped on the balcony. The dog wouldn't let me back in the place. Thought it was a burglar or something. That was kind of entertaining. I digress. And the Monday I go into the office, no idea what I'm doing, no idea what the business is, not got the first clue, sit through, and it was Tim's brother, Brennan, actually, who was doing the training. So I sit through this thing completely bewildered, not got a clue, and then Tim said, right, you're going to go out with Arnold. I said, I've not even done the training yet. Yeah, don't worry, you don't need it. Okay, whatever. So I go with Arnold, who was a team leader or whatever the title was then, and Arnold was not super enthusiastic. He was very sort of slow, very methodical, and there wasn't, you know, I like the guy, but it just wasn't in the same vibrational frequency as me. You know, I like to do things, just get things done. You know? I was talking with someone the other day about the difference between Kansas City and New York, and I said the difference is in Kansas City, when you ask someone how they're doing, you actually wait for a reply. Think about that. So I kind of resonated with Tim. I work well with Tim, and he puts me with this guy that's going at, you know, like Eeyore, like snail's pace. So I called Tim that night. I said, listen, don't put me with your 3rd or your 4th or your 10th best guy. I need to get out with the best guy you've got. I'm not messing about here, okay? I've sold everything. You've moved me around the world. I am not messing about here. You've got to put me with the next best guy you've got. So he puts me with Dr. Ed, who I couldn't understand. He was a Polish guy, not because of that. But Dr. Ed spoke at such a rapid fire with customers. Boom, 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 boom. Just okay there. And I just went running between his houses. And I watched Dr. Ed get, I think it was 15 clients. And at the time it was a free deal. Actually, what was it? What was the deal? No, it was $25 on your bill, but you got $30 worth of free stuff anyway. It turns out it was actually easier to create a false sense of, if something, you know, if something sounds too good to be true, okay, it takes more investigation. Never mind if something sounds to be too good to be true. It is. That's total BS. Okay, but it requires more investigation. So what they found was it was easier actually to tell people, you know, what's the catch? Oh, the catch is it's $25 on your first bill. Oh, however, we'll give you there's $30 worth of free long distance to use. Oh, that's okay. Before that, what's the catch? There isn't one. I don't know. So I watched Dr. Ed. I called Tim that night. I said, does this guy get complaints? And he said, no. How do you know? Oh, we spot check everyone. Everyone gets spot checked. You know, welcome calls. Okay. I said, I don't think anyone understood what he was doing. Honestly, I don't think clients knew. He said, Tone, they're saving 25% off the long distance bills. They don't care. They're saving 25% or 30%, whatever it was. They don't care. It's free. They don't care. When we call them, they're not entirely certain what they've done, but we say it's just to save 25% of your long distance. Oh, is it? What if I don't use it? Well, you don't save it. But if you do use it, you do. Oh, okay, that's easy enough. So I went from there. Next day I went out on my own, and I'm a very slow learner. There's international business leaders have got stories on me on their own training materials. There's stories of me being how slow I am at learning. I'm named and shamed by corporate CEOs in a good way, you know. So I went out the next day, and it took me 7 or 8 hours to get one customer. I called Tim that night, and he said, how'd you go on? I said, yeah, I got one. One. I've flown you around the world. I put you in a hotel. I gave you 5,000, and you got one. I said, yeah, I got one. That's what I went out to do, is get one. Get a customer. That was my goal for the day. And it took me 7 or 8 hours to get that customer. I'm not a fast learner. So that's no good. You should be getting 10 with your experience. Well, listen, tomorrow I'll get 2. No, you need 10. Now I'm getting 2. Okay. Well, you need 10. I'll get 2. Tone, you need 10. Okay, I'll get 10. In my mind, I'm going, I'm getting 2 anyway. So the next day I call him, same thing. How'd you go on? I got 2. I told you 10. Yeah, I told you 2. Who's out doing the job? And tomorrow, Tim, I'll get 4. Okay? And that's what happened. On the Saturday, I broke the company record, and I got something, I think it was 31. No one had ever done anything more than sort of 18 or 19 before. I got 31 in 4 hours on a Saturday morning and ran out of paperwork. I could have got 100 that day. It was just next, 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 one after the other after the other. And then, you know, when you got momentum, make sure you got enough paperwork, as it was back then. So what happened is, took the Sunday off. The Monday, I said, right, good to go. I'm not building a team in Toronto. There's too many distractions for me. You know, I've lived here before. There's too many bars. There's too many restaurants. Stick me somewhere I'm going to hate, where I've got no distractions and I don't know anyone. So he took me to a place called Hamilton, Ontario. And in Hamilton, Ontario was a rundown old steel town. And as we're driving through downtown in his brand new gleaming Porsche 928, I kind of felt embarrassed. I was sliding down my seat because these people were obviously hurting. You know, the stores were boarded up. There's people out there just, you know, I don't know what it looked like. If you imagine parts of Detroit, it kind of looked like that. And we drive up this, what they call the mountain in Hamilton. And on the mountain, we're going to this industrial park, and he pulls up a roller shutter. And I thought, man, it is rough around here. You've got to drive up a mountain and park your car inside a garage. And it was, and he said, there's your office. And I said, it's not an office, that's a garage. No, that's an office. It's a garage, too. No, look, it's got a phone and a desk. It's an office. It's also got a hole in the floor for changing oil. It's got a pit in the floor. That's not for changing oil. That's so all the garbage goes in there and we cement over it. And I just went, okay. You know, he's such an enthusiastic guy that he kind of saw the dream and the vision. And we connected the phone, put an ad in the Hamilton Spectator. The next day, the phone didn't stop. And that's what's going on right here today in Manchester. I don't know what's going on in Manchester, but the sense, or just the UK in general, the sense is that the economy's a bit shaky, jobs are a bit shaky, the future's a bit shaky, and my phone is non-stop. Whether it's my phone, my inbox, my Skype, whatever it is, it's non-stop. So this is why we're doing this launch in Manchester. And, you know, listen, I know those guys over there, they're doing exceedingly well as well. So, you know, it makes no difference one way or another. However, I went on this thing, put an ad in the paper. What I found out at that point, which I know now, blew me away. There's more income to be made in shaky or downturn economies than upturn economies, as long as you're in the right program. If you're selling luxury goods in a depression, you are going to probably struggle a little bit. You know, if you're selling real estate and the banks aren't giving money out, and this is something that happened a few years ago, and the banks won't lend money, you're going to struggle. You've got to change. You've got to find something else to do. So right now, what I'm finding, and this is not just over there, this is the Western world in general, you know, is it's uncertainty, it's shakiness. Whether it's jobs, whether it's income, whether it's investments, it's a little shaky. People don't know. And the reality is this, you know, I saw a couple of posts this week. It's one of the big food chains in the States that are replacing the cashiers with machines. I see this in all kinds of stores, and I've seen it in supermarkets in the UK. We are getting replaced. Technology is replacing us. I saw a machine the other day building a wall out of bricks, an automated bricklayer. So it doesn't matter what you do, there's a chance you're going to get defunct. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, it doesn't matter. You know, we've got a thing we're launching on the 22nd. We have a business here where, you know, I don't even need I don't use doctors, but you don't even need a doctor. You just pick up the phone, call. You don't have to go to a surgery or anything like that. And, you know, if you want something from the pharmacy, it gets delivered to your door. Okay, I don't even know if there's an actual pharmacy. Maybe it's just a computerized thing. So it doesn't matter what we do, we're becoming slowly replaced by technology, which is not necessarily a bad thing as long as we adapt to it. So I also know that, and I'm going to utilize Brian on the call because he's a tech guy, and there's a whole bunch of people I work with that are very similar tech guys. They've been in the field for a long time, and what's happening now is kids are coming out of college faster and cheaper. And that's with any industry. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a bricklayer, a pharmacist, an IT guy, a mechanic. Kids are coming out of college or school, whatever, faster and cheaper. Why is that? Well, they've grown up with technology. They're used to instant. Okay? Whereas someone like me, it takes me a while. Okay? So what I know is it doesn't matter what the outside economy is doing. The outside economy has no bearing whatsoever on my economy. Makes absolutely zero difference. You know, if the economy's booming, I'll adapt again. If the economy's falling, I'll adapt again. I'm in, you know, a recession-proof city. I'm right in the middle of Manhattan here. We have no clue what's going on in the world because everything's booming here. There's jobs everywhere. I'm kind of isolated from it, and I don't really leave here. However, what I'm hearing from all over, certainly in the States, but Canada, Europe, is things are shaky. So I went through this thing with Tim. We put an ad in the paper. The phone, as soon as I got there at 6 in the morning, I got there to tidy up at 6 in the morning, the phone's already ringing from this ad in the paper. I got off the phone 19 hours later, and it was just one phone. It wasn't a system, it was just a phone. And as soon as I put it down, ring, ring, ring. 19 hours. And 19 hours, I pulled the plug out the wall, just absolutely wiped out. And when these people called, I didn't even know what I was doing. And literally, my phone call was, you know, oh, yeah. Listen, I can book you in for an interview tomorrow at 2 o'clock. What's it about? The guy will be here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. If you're interested, it's full-time, permanent. If that's what you're looking for, here's the address. What's your name? Boom. Next, 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 next. Can you give me directions? I have no clue. I'm just, do I sound like I'm from Hamilton, Ontario? I don't know. I'm up a mountain somewhere in an office. I don't even know where I am. I can't give you directions. Figure it out. There's the address. Thanks. Next. And not to be rude, but it was just going at this pace. The next day, I probably had 200 people lined up for interviews. The people that own the building went absolutely mental with me because I think they had a car service bay type thing, an oil change place. No one could get in or out. So I had a row with them in my second day in the office. And then it was just chaos, and the phone's still ringing. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I haven't got a clue. Dropped in at the deep end on my own. There's no sign of Tim. He's somewhere else, back in Toronto or something. And he's just like, Tony, you can do this. Yeah, fine, do it. Okay, whatever. And I've got all these guys there lining up to come in, and I just remember saying, has anyone here ever worked as a receptionist? And this great girl, Trish, put her hand up. I have. What are you doing now? I'm working as a waitress. Perfect. Answer the phone. Just tell him to come in. Just give him the address. Tell him to come in tomorrow at 9 and at 12 and at 3, whatever it was. So how much am I getting paid? I said, I've no idea, but whatever the average is for the job, it will be more. Okay, can you help me out here? I really need your help. Trish stayed with me for 2 years, and we're still good friends to this day. Just random. And sometimes you meet people in your life, it's just random. You just connect. So the phone's going nuts. I don't know what I'm doing. What I do is I get everyone together in a room. I explain about the business. This is the days before technology. And now everything we do with the business is all online. About the business, about the income, about what I'm looking for. And basically I told them, listen, if you're not interested, just leave. Okay? You don't feel that you have to have an interview if this is not for you. And literally no one left. And out of all these people, I hired, I think it was out of about 50 to start for training the Monday after. And I just kept, well, I can't remember exactly what it is. So these 50 people, oh, by the way, also on this story, the guy that was supposed to team up with me, Mark Greenwood, and Greenie, if you're watching, this is you, Mark Greenwood, didn't team up with me. He went doing the same job for a competitor for a salary. I was commission only. So I'm going like, oh, man, he was supposed to be the recruiter. I'm doing everything at this point. So I do the training class on the Monday. There's about 50 people in the training class. The day after, 40 came back to start work. What happened to the other 10? Well, the other 10 probably spoke with someone. They might have decided for them it's not for you, but they probably spoke with someone negative that told them why they can't do it or why it's no good or blah, 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 blah. And that's life. You know, be careful who you get your advice from. You know, if you're going into business from me, if you speak with some guy that's broke, he will tell you it's a bad idea. If you speak with a guy that owns a Domino's franchise, he'll tell you to buy a Domino's franchise if he's making money out of it. Okay? Be careful who gives you advice. Just go with your own gut feeling. Okay? Go with your own gut feeling. You can ask me, you can speak with any members of our team, anyone. We're wide open. We're totally transparent. So, I've got to fly there. Just checking time. So, where we're at is, I start this, I do the classroom, I have to take all these guys out to work myself. I basically knock on the first door. This lady's looking at me like there's something wrong, so she's got 40 me on the step and 40 guys stood on her front lawn, and she's shocked, and I'm like, oh, hi, sorry to bother you, this is my class. And as soon as she looked at them, they all went in sync, they all went, hello, and all of a sudden it was funny. All of a sudden it was funny. What is it? Just go grab your bill. Okay, you're using some long distance. Yeah, 25% off all these calls. What's the catch? 25 on your first bill to join up with it. However, I'm going to give you $30 worth of free long distance now. Is that okay for you? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, just give me a scribble there. Need a copy of your bill. That was it. Done. Turn around to the class. Said, right, you guys see how it's done? Here's the deal, class. There's 40 of you. I need 8 managers this time next week. Okay? I don't care if you're old, young, black, white, male, female. Not interested. Okay? Show me what you got. And that was basically it. The interesting thing was, I was a guy that absolutely had no clue. I operate on, with anything, on ready, fire, aim. I don't wait for stuff to be perfect. If something feels right, I just go ahead and do it, and I'll make loads of mistakes and figure it out as I'm going along. So, where we're at is, these guys, you know, 8 of them get promoted, then because these guys lived all over the place, then I could advertise further, and we built this business of, just like that, and these guys, within a week, were making 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 a week. 5 in some cases, and we were just breaking records everywhere. And I do remember when I got to Toronto, when I first moved back, there was 2 guys in there. One was Tim's brother, and one was another guy from Montreal. I'm not naming them because they're on my Facebook. And they both said, you know, I said, like, you know, Tim's talking 2,000 clients a week. How many are you doing? He said, oh, we got 2,500 last week. Oh, we got 2,800 last week. And they're all sat there with the Versace on and all this stuff, and I'm there in my flip-flops and old jeans and a Harley T-shirt or something. I said, okay, give me 8 weeks, we'll beat you guys. And they started laughing at me. Now, for me, when people laugh at me or ridicule me and it happens, that to me is fuel. That is fuel. And I remember, I said 8 weeks. The 8th week, I worked 138 hours. One of the reasons is I had a bigger row with the people who own the other office, and basically they gave me 48 hours to move offices. We found an old banquet hall. We had to kit it out, put studded walls in, kit it. I was helping paint everything. It didn't matter. I had a goal. It was 8 weeks. You couldn't use an excuse that we have no office and we've been told to move and we've got to kit out another office and change phone numbers and all that. That was no excuse at all. We just did it anyway. The 8th week, my first week, and because of the way the pay cycle worked, my first week in the deregulation industry, that's not what I'm in now, but in the deregulation industry, I made $20. So in UK money, about £12. On my 8th week, I made $28,739. So about £20,000. That's not over 8 weeks, that's on the 8th week. So if you're in the UK, £20,000. Now I'm not telling you this to show off, I'm telling you this because I can help you guys build teams faster than most people. I can help you guys. There's a blueprint. So what I'm looking for is someone that wants to be coached and that learns how to do it. I need 4 or 5 guys, and you communicate me on a daily basis, as Brian is doing now. Brian just jumped in business with me a day, 2 days ago. Okay, so Brian's done his step 1, and I think he's working on his step 2, and it's a 3-step process to launch a business. So I'm gonna bring Brian in a second. Anyway, you done your hair, Brian? You're looking good. So what am I talking about here for the UK? The biggest consumer market in the world, is North America. There's something also very intrinsic about the United States. So if you're in the UK, you don't pay for healthcare. If you're in Canada, you don't pay for healthcare. If you're in the US, I know people who are paying $20,000, $30,000 a year for healthcare. And it's a massive mess at the moment, the whole thing with this Affordable Care Act. I don't even understand it at all. But what I do know is it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can run a business now in the States, even if you're not in the States. We operate in 32 countries, building businesses, but it's all centered on North America. So what does that mean? There's a couple of things. Positioning is everything. So with the economy being rocky, with jobs being uncertain, with the future being shaky, people are looking to save money to reduce their overheads. So we have a program here that in the States, and there's, I don't know, 400 million people, okay? 400 million people in the States, let's say. The average family will save $9,000 and change, so £6,000 a year at stores they already go to by buying stuff they already buy. Now, it doesn't matter if that is clothing, groceries, cars, houses, doesn't matter. Okay, in everyday name stores, whether it's the Gap, Office Depot, which I don't think you actually have in the UK. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones you'll know. AMC Cinemas, 32% off going to the movies. Hewlett Packard, employee pricing. So anyone buying a computer for kids for Christmas gets employee pricing on it. Same with Sears, which I know you don't have in the UK. Same with, there's all these kinds of things. But it's everyday names. There's 125,000 of these things out there. But anyone in the States, they don't know about it. Well, how can I run a business out of the UK and the States? I'm going to ask you guys a real serious question now. There's a whole bunch of you watching. I'm going to ask you a real serious question. Have you ever heard of the internet? Okay. That's how I'm on with the UK right now. It's all done through the internet. Now, I get all my business is all inbound. All 100% of my business is inbound inquiries. 100% of my business is inbound inquiries. Mine's through Facebook. However, I'm in New York City, which is a fairly transient place. People are coming and going and coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. I have no family here. I'm not a member of a church group. I'm not a member of a sports club. I'm not a member of anything. I'm a member of me. That's it. Okay. So what do? I connect with people. Every day I connect. And, you know, I'm fortunate to live in a place where no one drives, so you can't help but connect with people. Okay. And so instantly I built a network of people. What do I do with that network? I stick them on my Facebook. I become very transparent. Anyone can see what I'm doing. And usually, if it's someone I meet face to face within a week or two, they'll message me saying, what is it you do? I can't figure it out at all. You seem to just live in coffee shops, restaurants, hanging around in the park, walking around in the city. We've never actually seen you do a job. What do you do? This is what I do. I talk to people. That's it. And from that, it creates a line of inquiry. But there's also very specific steps. So not everyone's like me, and not everyone has, you know, people watching them all the time. Mine's very, very public. You can type Tony Cohen in pretty much anywhere in the world on Facebook, and I always come out on top. So I'm very visual on that, but that's what I use for me. And I know part of the training I do, I'm going to bring Brian in on this one. Part of the training I do is step by step. Who do you know? Now, what this business isn't, is it isn't being the most annoying guy in the room. It is seeing how we can help people. So if I know someone that's got kids, we save them a couple of $1,000s on the kids, what do they call it, braces for the teeth? I don't know what it's called. We save them, get free, and this is a huge, huge thing in the States. This is huge. You've got to pay fortunes for this stuff. You've got to pay, whatever, $3,000 for kids' braces, £2,000 for kids' braces, or trips to the doctor, or whatever it is. We've got all this stuff. Most of it's free. People don't actually need to go to the doctor. They can do an online thing. They can call the doctor, and they get the pharmaceuticals delivered to the door at a discount. They can get money off their groceries that in the normal store they go to every week. It's like Costco on steroids. It's everything. Everything. 3,000 and change off a brand new car. I can't remember all this stuff. There's just so much of it. Papa John's Pizza, 25% off the entire bill. It's like just endless. Endless. So how does that benefit me if I'm in the UK? Well, the savings programs don't really benefit the UK. They benefit the target market, the 400 million people in the States. So if I was in the UK right now, I wouldn't be worried too much about that. What I'd be thinking of now is, who do I know in Manchester, England? Who do I know in Manchester, England? And part of the training is, there's a way of a memory jogger, which I'm going to bring into it in a second. Who do I know? Then who do I know who is the transition? Is that you? It's not you barking, is it, Brian? Is it your dog? Who do I know that's in transition? So who do I know that's either lost their job? 600 people last week got made redundant from Sky TV. So if you're in the States, that's the same as DirecTV. 600 people. Okay, I'd be seeing them. There's people that just don't know what's around the corner. There's people that are single mums that can only work a few hours a day. There's all kinds of things. So I look for people who are either in transition, in between. They might have just got divorced, might have lost the job, might have moved somewhere. Or I'm looking for people who are at breaking point. What do I mean by breaking point? Same thing. Lost the job, just got divorced, just moved somewhere. But people have a different feel on it. So what we do is very, very low-key. We're just looking for, right now, 5 to 7 people. And there's probably a few thousand people will see this. It records automatically. So that's what we're looking for right now. 5 to 7 people in Manchester to work with our team in Manchester that's already set up. There's two or three guys there already. So we're going to build a nucleus from there. And what else is going to happen? Well, Manchester is a very diverse city ethnically as well. So if you're from Jamaica or Trinidad or France or wherever, you can connect with people there and they can run businesses into the States. You don't have to be here. It's all online. So it's the biggest consumer market in the world. You have access to it from 32 countries, but right now, specifically, I'm just targeting Manchester. And probably this weekend, this depends on Brian, right now I'm backed up. I've got North Carolina to launch into. I've got LA to launch into this week. I've got Colorado to launch into this week. I've got Dallas launching out tonight. Even though it's online, we're putting teams together in all these different places. So if you're in Manchester, England, who do you know that knows someone in the States? Who do you know that knows someone through Facebook in the States? That's what it is. So if I was in Manchester, England right now, I'd be doing what I'm doing right now out of there. I'd probably shift my time a little bit to work with the the time difference. But I'd be on Facebook or connecting people, or who do I know? Who do I know who's got relatives in Jamaica? Who do I know who's got relatives in Trinidad that might want to earn some extra money? Okay, so that's the thing. That's what I'm looking for. But what I'm really looking for is someone that's actually entirely coachable, because these guys that know everything last about 2 minutes with me. Because they know everything, they basically crash out. They do nothing. Yeah, I know. No, you don't. Okay, you don't. Listen, I've trained 100,000 people in my life, plus, and I didn't know anything about it. I had to go to a guy that knew it better than me and saying, right, teach me here. Because my whole life I've taught people how to sell, how to close deals. You know, I was on Wall Street for 2 years, running the biggest energy trader in North America, running it. So I train people how to do that stuff. I've had to unlearn that whole process and go into a complete relationship building process where right now there's no selling, there's no pitching, there's no whatever. Okay, it's all done through a video link. It's all so. This is essentially an introduction to training thing. There's a video link, and that's what we send out. Someone watches the video, they either join up straight away, or they'll get back to me and ask me some questions they may not have understood, or they say it's not for them. Doesn't matter, we're still friends. Makes no difference. But that's all it is. It's the video. The video does the work for you. All I train people to do is how to connect. How to connect, how to find where someone's at in their life. And once you master those two skills, wonderful stuff starts happening to you. Once you know how to connect, that's interesting. I'm just looking here. These shirts, they're all sort of 500 each. They're from a top New York designer who just so happens is from Manchester. And I connected with him in the World Cup in a bar in Spanish Harlem, and boom, sees everything that's going on Facebook, the amount of people watching. Will you wear one of my shirts? Yeah, absolutely. Gives me, a few $1,000s worth of clothing. When we learn how to connect, wonderful stuff starts happening. So that's the training, is about connecting. So I'm going to flick on to Brian right now. Are you ready for us, Brian? Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So you're in North Carolina. We met, a couple of years ago in a bar. Sounds like the story of my life. And you just jumped into business with us 2 days ago after watching it for a little while.
That's correct.
That's correct. So I don't do the trend. Oh, hi, Laura's on. Hello, Laura, in LA. We were just talking about you. Not really.
I can only be a...
I can see you. It's all right. We got you. We'll cover for you. Gotta love these things. I got caught on one the other week. I turned it on before I got dressed. I didn't realize.
Did you want me on the?
Nice. Yeah.
Did you want me on the call or what?
Okay. We always want to call. Always. So I'm just speaking with Brian now. So Brian, you got into the business 2 days ago. So the training procedure is all online. It's in the back office. So what have you found? You've been watching for, I want to say, about a month. Everything. You've been invited to all these hangouts and all the rest of it. Laura, do you want to just mute yourself a second? I'm bouncing all over the place. Do that.
I'm sorry. Yourself? What was that?
Can you mute yourself?
I have no idea. Hold on.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
When the cursor comes over the screen, there should be a little thing that. Okay, it looks like she muted. Okay.
Yeah. Something's happening. We can still see you. The world can still see you, Laura. You're okay. The world can see you in sunny LA. So, Brian, you have just got into your own back office a day ago. And how are you finding it so far? I mean, we're only a day in, literally.
Okay, what I've done so far is I went through the memory jogger and I started putting down names that I've people I know that make the categories in the memory jogger. And then I went through and I looked at some of the discounts so I could be more familiar with what kind of discounts are out there. Okay, and then I watched a video today of Larry, his first video that he put out. There's a series of 3.
Okay, yeah, in the back office. Yep.
So I took the first one today, and I plan on doing the other two in the next couple of days.
So those are the 15-minute ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty short.
20 minutes, yeah. All right, that's cool. So this is it, guys. When you're watching this, this is it. Everything's there. Once you work with us, everything is there, and that's it. And it's that simple. So I know, Laura, you're in that situation as well. You're doing your list. From the list, there's a next step, because you might have 100, 200 people on your list. We're not going to talk to 100 or 200 people. We're going to find the 20 most influential people we know, and this is for anything, any business. The 20 most influential people we know, and we're going to ask them, who do they know that's in transition or at breaking point, and all of a sudden you end up with your 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. That's all you need. Anywhere from 6 to 8 to build a business. We don't need thousands of people. 88 people, you're at 6 figures a year. So that's pretty much where we're at. It's been a bit of a hodgepodge getting this together, Brian, as these things often are. But I want to thank you for jumping on board. So what I'm going to say is, whoever invited you to this video, or if you're watching it after the fact, get back to whoever invited you. I'm very visible on Facebook, and Brian's on there too. We're all on there. So live from New York City, this is the real Tony Cohen to Manchester. See you soon. Thanks, guys.